And if you're ever to get to the deep state, which is the aspects of the Pentagon,
intelligence community,
intelligence, you got CIA, and CIA people should know. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I came to this through hard evidence of seeing it in the first term and dealing with. You have this. You basically have the CIA. You have aspects of the DNI crowd, which is 17 separate intelligence.
Directorate of National
Intelligence, which has everything. Everybody's got NSA. Has got the guy. They can look into your phones. They know everything that's going on. Everything. Then you've got the Justice Department with aspects of that, and you got DHS with ATF and others. You got the FBI. You have elements of the Defense Department like DIA. That is the deep state. And what I say is, it's like the Praetorian Guard in the Roman Empire. They are actually so powerful now that they can decide, like the Praetorian Guard is, who's the emperor and who's not. This is why they turfed out Trump, and they basically plugged in Biden.
Would you agree with this? Somebody who's smart described this as a parallel command structure that is existing outside of the executive branch, where the president is not read into certain intelligence. He's lied to about troop levels in Syria and things like that. They're conducting business with countries outside of the purview of the White House. And somebody called this a parallel command structure.
Only difference I would make, you're 100% correct, so it's not parallel. It is the command structure. When you sit there, you sit there and get a briefing from these people, they will look you in the eye and lie to you. I was put in charge in the first days of working with people like Eric Prince and others to come to a plan the president wanted out of Afghanistan. We'd already been there, I think, going on 18 or 19 years. In the Pentagon, in the apparatus. And I keep saying, I never called it the deep state. It says not a deep state. It's up in your face. Right. And they will sit there and make up their own numbers and lie to you. I talked to them at one time. I said, listen, I gave them some points in time about briefings I wanted. I said, I want to see the briefing of this about Afghanistan over the 20 years. This time. And because I knew what they were going to show. They were going to show every time, telling whether the president was Bush or Obama, that, hey, we're here. If we just have more money, in 3 years, it's going to be perfect. It's like seeing these small companies.
Who's driving this agenda? Is it Raytheon, General Dynamics?
It's a combination of people.
It's the Council on Foreign Relations.
It's definitely the outside companies, but it's also the guys like Bannon. It's people who have been here forever, been in the intelligence
community.
Bannon
is the guy that keeps coming up.
Bad dude.
As a very dangerous individual. Guy. He's a dangerous person.
Dangerous, but there's
Clapper's a dangerous
There's
guy.
100, Clapper, Hayden, those are the guys you see at the very top. Right? But they also have coaching trees like Belichick, et cetera.
Of course.
So it's deep into the apparatus. And this is the thing they have, called the interagency.
Did they have anyone in the Trump White House, the first one?
Yeah, so I asked Mike Flynn, I said, look, let me see the charts this is the first day. I want to see the charts for the National Security Council. When I came off sea duty in the 70s and came back, I came back to the Pentagon to be a special assistant to the Chief of Naval Operations, basically a junior officer, Grandoon. This is in 1981 when Reagan's like, the guys in the Pentagon at that time thought the National Security Council ran the world. National Security Council had 25 people. You had Kissinger, you had Brzezinski, and then they picked Richard V. Allen because they didn't want some Dr. Strangelove type.
Right.
Reagan didn't. That had 25 or 30 people, and the guys in the Pentagon said, these fuckers run the world, right? They're too powerful. Flynn comes back on the first day, goes down with Jarrett and the president. He's got these charts like this. I said, Mike, I didn't want to see the entire national security apparatus. I don't want to see the Pentagon. He goes, no. This is the National Security Council. I go, what? 292 billets. If you look at it, they're into everything. And I go, my God. I said, how many political appointees we got? He says about 40 or 50. I said, well, hey, heck, no offense. We don't know 40 or 50 MAGA guys that step in there right now. We have to get rid of some of these. These are called detailees. They come from the Pentagon. They come from the CIA, they come from DNI, they come from DHS. It's essentially the way the deep state runs the system. They have, think about it, with 292 billets, they have...
Billets meaning...
But slots where a person goes.
Where somebody goes,
Yeah, it's 292 bodies, but they have a billet, boom, where they plug a person in. We wanted to get rid of those.
So they know that new administrations coming in are not always going to have these 200, 300 people.
No, Obama, no. In fact, it's impossible. First off, you don't even have the allocation of political appointees.
But you might have 25.
25.
So that's the thing. So by making it larger.
Yes. And they have a phrase, I call it their fetish. they have a thing called the interagency process. In other words, everything has to go through the CIA's got to sign off, the State Department. You got to remember, the CIA has a military aspect to it. The State Department has an intelligence aspect to it. The deep state is like kudzu, and it's run by the CIA. The CIA controls behind the scenes.
And the CIA is run by the billionaires.
Well, the CIA reports to, first off, an elite class of Americans have just been, from OSS to the CIA, very Ivy League. When I talk about the credential class, the traditional control of the CIA has been kind of the Ivy League. Yeah, Harvard, Yale, Harvard Law School, yes, Princeton. A little bit of that's changed, but not the mentality. The very mentality is that
Cold War liberalism.
They are the guardians of this republic.
That's right.
Right? And you have these politicians, whether they're clowns like Bill Clinton or neophytes like Obama or dangerous individuals like Trump, they can wander in and out, but they are the guardians of the republic, very like Plato's guardians. They are the guardians of this republic. America's become a hegemon because of them.
They decide we're going to stay in the Ukraine for 3 years.
First off, they decide why with some, and this is one of the things I told McMaster's. He would sit there and go, "We got the greatest team, and we're going to do all this." I said, "Dude," you've had Bush, you've had Obama, and now you got us. You've had a center right group of neoliberal conservatives in Bush. You've had the biggest group of progressives ever under Obama, and I said, we're here for 20 years. I said, you've had smart guys around this table. Why has it never changed? And the reason it never changes that the neoliberal neocons have an apparatus. That apparatus is the deep state. And this is why I say if AOC or Bernie was there, they'd be just as dismissed. This is what eventually impeached Trump. They saw Trump as such a danger. This was the whole Russia hoax. This was a guy named Colonel Derek Harvey and an Army sergeant called Higgins were two brilliant guys that understood this. They actually went through and came back and made a presentation. Here are the deep staters that actually in the National Security Council, right? Here's who their names are in ranked order, the ones that should be turfed out. The number one name was this Eric Camarillo guy who eventually was the whistleblower on the Trump call to Ukraine. The original whistleblower was a guy that 2 years before they identified as one of the most dangerous guys because he's a deep stater. The deep state is a real thing, and this is why you see President Trump going after it hammer and tong right now.